when he stooped to head a fairly routine ball forward by Jordan Henderson. It seemed to bounce up and strike him in the face.
Yeah, well, he tried to head it, didn't he? I think it didn't bounce as much as what he thought it was going to, and it smacked him in his eye.
Curious one.
Odd one, yeah.
He is about to return to the action play again, about to get back underway. Mauricio Pochettino watching on from his seat in the stands today at Anfield, serving the second of a two-match touchline ban. His comments after the defeat at Burnley. That is one of 3 successive away defeats they've suffered coming here. As they look to launch their first attack in towards Dele Alli. Alisson comes sliding out. Bit of miscommunication really between the goalkeeper and his fullback Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's bundled out a play on the far side for the throw in the end.
That was a good move from Spurs, wasn't it? Little ball up to Moura, set back. Harry Kane, third man up from Dele Alli. Didn't look like he was going to get there, but as Alisson came out, spilt it, the defender had to get to his rescue. Tottenham another throw on the left-hand side.
Rose waiting to take it. Back in the action. It's level with the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. Comes back to the feet of Rose once again. Lucas Moura stretching for it. Couldn't quite get anything on that. Jorginho Wijnaldum tries to bring it away. Looking to go around the outside of Danny Rose, who stood his ground, shut the door. Did out a play on that far side, heavily involved right from the start. Rose, the decision goes his way this time, gets the throw, goes back to the top and all the way back here to Hugo Lloris as Tottenham try and settle into a little period of possession of their own, albeit deep inside their own territory here. Lloris has actually given it away with a clearance. James Milner meets it, turns it to the informed Sadio Mane. Mo Salah on the edge of the box, spins to shoot, left-footed effort well wide of the angle of post and bar. Cross goal it goes, and behind from Mo Salah, who does have those 17 goals this season. There was one in his last 8 in the Premier League. He has seemingly gone off the boil a bit in recent weeks.
He has, but he's still a threat, isn't he? I mean, you wouldn't give him any sort of time and room just because he's not scored in a while. I most certainly wouldn't. I'm not sure why Lloris tries to play out as much as he does from the back for Spurs. For all his attributes and for everything he's really good at, one thing that I'm not sure about with him is when he's got the ball at his feet, and that's how that Salah chance just came about, because he tried to play out, completely missed Eriksen, and all of a sudden Spurs are on the back foot. I'd be reluctant to keep rolling it back to him if I'm being honest.
It could have been costly as he gave it to Milner. Liverpool go longer here to Mane. There's a flag up. He tried to bring that under control on the chest just in front of the Tottenham penalty area. Complete contrast to Salah. Sadio Mane is in red hot form right now. Everything he touches is turning to goals right now, and he has joined Salah on 17 for the season in the Premier League. 9 in his last 9, 11 in 11 in all competitions. Liverpool, of course, have joined Tottenham in the quarter-finals of the Champions League, 4 English sides reaching the last 8 of that competition. Liverpool taking on Porto next week, and Tottenham will lock arms with Manchester City. There is Danny Rose, floats it forward to halfway. Kane tries to help it on. Eriksen will take advantage of a little slip by Joel Matip. And Eriksen does have support from Lucas, tries to thread it into his path. Alexander-Arnold comes sliding in with a really well-timed challenge to nick that behind.
Good play, wasn't it? Unfortunately, a slip there from Matip as if Eriksen breaks. Good luck diagonal run from Moura. Nice little pass, but good covering. Excellent covering from Alexander-Arnold.
Had to get that touch, but it was fine movement from the Brazilian Lucas Moura. Preferred to Son Heung-min, whose fine form of a few weeks ago has been a fading memory recently. Also away on international duty, one of the longer trips in the Spurs squad. There's the corner taken short by Trippier towards Lucas Moura. Mane back defending, but Lucas still has it, edge of the penalty area now onto his right foot. And he was crowded out of it really before he could get the shot away, which when it came, he didn't connect with properly at all, and it goes harmlessly behind for the goal kick. But one or two promising passages for Tottenham without yet the end product. They're putting themselves in dangerous positions.
Yeah, they are. The one thing we did get right, a lot of outlets had it as a 3-4-3 formation, but we went with a 3-5-2, Phil, and I think that's exactly what it is at the moment. Moore is playing just off of Kane, with Ali, Sissoko and Eriksen in the midfield 3, and Danny Rose and Trippier as wing-backs.
There's Lucas over on that far side. Eriksen is playing pretty deep, and he is on the receiving end of the throw from Lucas, and then the turns it for the Brazilian to chase, just gets there ahead of Alexander Arnold, can't keep his footing. The two of them get in the tangle. And the free kick is going to be Liverpool's here for Lucas's challenge on Alexander Arnold.
Yeah, it was a foul, wasn't it? A lot of clouds slipping over at the minute. That's because the pitch would have been heavily watered before the game. Liverpool like to get it down and play, as do Spurs. At the moment, it's a sopping wet surface, albeit an extremely good one.
7 minutes in. A little delay before Alexander Arnold can take this free kick, just in from the touchline. 0-0 on Premier League Live. At TalkSport Live is our Twitter address. To hear from you throughout the course of the commentary, let us know where you're listening to us around the world today, which way you think this game will go. So important for both of these sides, and the title race and the chase for Champions League qualification as well. At TalkSport Live is our Twitter address. Liverpool have the throw midway inside their own half with Andy Robertson. Sit back from Henderson and then goes crossfield. Alexander Arnold had the space to bring it down. It was a heavy touch though. Harry Kane quickly closes him down. Salah puts the pressure on Danny Rose, who again keeps his footing and comes away with the ball and takes possession by finding Toby Alderweireld. To his right is Trippier. Slipped as he cleared it down the line in the direction of Lucas. Virgil van Dijk there first. Robertson now for Liverpool to try and ping it forward. It will be cut out by Davinson Sanchez in the heart of the visiting defence. Sissoko takes over in midfield. Eriksen back towards Sanchez again. Midway inside his own half. 50th Premier League appearance since the signing from Ajax a couple of seasons ago. Danny Rose goes back to another former Ajax man, Jan Vertonghen. Now Sanchez to Alderweireld. Liverpool not pressing too high just at the moment. 8.5 on the clock. Eriksen again comes deep to offer himself as an option for possession. Option utilised by Alderweireld. They work it wide left for Danny Rose. Further forward as Tottenham trying to increase the tempo now. Dele Alli couldn't quite break for Kane. Alexander Arnold guns it back. Alisson clears it. Emphatic right-footed clearance towards halfway. We go for the throw. Another side really able to earn a position of authority as yet in the opening 9 minutes.
Just thinking that we've had 9 minutes, not a lot has happened, but it's intriguing. It's almost like a game of chess at the moment. Two different formations, and one is going to gain the advantage, and how quickly will they gain an advantage? At the moment, not a lot's happening. Neither team has got the game by the scruff of the neck.
Manchester City's win yesterday, taking them back above Liverpool at the top, the 23rd time this season that the lead has changed hands in the Premier League. Liverpool have been top for 116 days of the season so far. They're actually 13 points better off than they were at this stage last season. Already more points than they had in the whole of last season. There's Mo Salah for them on the corner of the penalty area, cleared away by Sanchez, kept in and returned by Matip, hoists it high. Toby Alderweireld is underneath it, meets it in the air. Lucas brings it down neatly just inside his own half and sets off in a searching, slaloming run forward, takes a couple of Liverpool players out of the equation. He has support from Kane to his left. Harry Kane has it here. Lucas has continued his run. Kane finds him. Lucas takes a couple of touches to try and bring it under control, and then in the end pulled it back for Sissoko to swivel and strike it. Left-footed, it didn't carry the venom required. It goes wide of the target, but Lucas looks up for this. He's been a central figure in the early story so far.
He looks very, very lively, doesn't he? It's good play from Kane as well. Just thought he was going to hit that first time, and he gets crowded out, and that's not the best decision from Sissoko. It was a heavy set that Lucas gave him. He just needed to get it and shift it wide one more. I'm not so sure he chose the right option there with that left-footed swipe from the edge of the box.
Sissoko still searching for his first goal of the season. There is Alderweireld. It's from Tottenham go long. Right-footed from the Belgian to the edge of the Liverpool box. Alisson's come a long way outside of his penalty area as he was closed down by Harry Kane over on that far touchline. Has to thump it out of play and then race back to take up his position again. More clean sheets than anybody else in the Premier League this season, Alisson and Liverpool. He's been in goal for all of the 17 shutouts in the top flight so far. Danny Rose waiting to take the throw for Tottenham. Well advanced down their left-hand side. Not too many options immediately available, although Eriksen now has been left unmarked as he came short. Back into the feet of Rose. Dele Alli to Christian Eriksen, cut out by Alexander Arnold. And then Wijnaldum away. He will reach halfway with it. Davinson Sanchez sees the ball just drop over his shoulder and guides it back to Hugo Lloris. Roberto Firmino attempting to apply the pressure. Lloris rolls it short to his right. Alderweireld, again one of those expansive balls out from the back. They are hitting them long, but Alderweireld has that sort of passing range as well to be particularly precise with them. Milner's kept it in. And found Firmino on halfway. Quickly closed down by Kieran Trippier.
Tottenham edging it for me at the moment. Looking the more lively, aren't they? Looking the more fresh at the start of this game. Maybe that 3 weeks has done them good, like we were talking about. Certainly had a good opening 12 minutes in this game.
Settled into their stride, certainly. Fed out by Kieran Trippier, looking to get Tottenham moving forward again. Lucas finding Eriksson inside the centre circle, pings it forward, hits Harry Kane, comes back towards Eriksson, over the top of Lucas this time. Virgil van Dijk is there. Henderson gets his head to the bouncing ball. Milner trying to bring it under control as well. Tottenham claiming there that it hit the arm.
Looked like handball to me.
Yeah, that might have been the case. Liverpool still have possession with Alexander-Arnold. Room to run into down the right-hand side. Dele Alli going back with him. Alexander-Arnold fizzles it in. It hits Davinson Sanchez. It's cleared away by Spurs from the edge of their own box to the halfway line on the far side.
Good cover in there from Trippier after an initial mistake. Wasn't going to take any chances and just crashes it out to the halfway line where Liverpool had the throw on.
And here with Joel Matip at centre-back. Joe Gomez not too far away from a return after that broken leg. Van Lovren on the bench today, also fit again. Turned for Croatia during the international break, albeit in defeat. Surprising defeat for the World Cup finalists in Hungary. There's Robertson of Scotland to James Milner. Now Henderson looking to slot it through the middle where Mo Salah had made the run. Cut out by Vertonghen. He did have plenty of support in White. Sissoko under pressure from Roberto Firmino. Tottenham cleared to Lucas Moura on the halfway line. Again, nifty footwork. Just he's been out in space for himself.
He has been outstanding in this opening 13-14 minutes.
And he rose forward. Dele Alli couldn't quite bring it under control. Needed to kill it first time. Didn't really have the space. Liverpool have it back through their goalkeeper Alisson to Andy Robertson. Such an attacking outlet for them this season. 8 assists from left back. The Scottish captain. Alexander-Arnold on the other side has it now. He's not too far behind either. He'd love to get forward from those full-back positions. Jordan Henderson in the midfield, combining with Wijnaldum. Fabinho's been a regular starter recently, his longest sequence of starts actually in the Premier League, ending today back on the bench, the Brazilian. There is Henderson. Comes back to Virgil van Dijk on the halfway line, and now Robertson. Well advanced inside Tottenham territory, but plenty in White behind the ball, maintaining their defensive shape. Milner will leave it for Robertson. He goes cross-field, left to right, behind Alexander-Arnold. He's forced to check his run and scamper after it. Gets to the ball now and gets it back from Wijnaldum. 14 and a half minutes played at Anfield. Still 0-0 on Premier League Live. Liverpool patient and probing in possession here, but no way through. Danny Rose clears towards Harry Kane, goes down under the very tight attentions of Joel Matip and wins the free kick.
Yeah, he knew there Matip he'd give away a free kick, didn't he? See him look to the heavens. There's no need. He can't get to the ball. You can't run through players to get to it. He's just shoved Harry Kane in the back.
Nothing in it with a quarter of an hour played. 4 of the last 7 meetings actually between the clubs have been draws. Liverpool winning 7 of the last 12. Certainly got the upper hand in the history of this fixture recently. It's Mo Salah picking up possession, finds his captain Henderson just behind him. Crossfield to the left for Robertson, takes it in his stride beautifully, and then puts a brilliant ball in for Roberto Firmino to head Liverpool into the lead with their first significant attack of note. It is the Brazilian on the end of it. It's his 12th goal of the season, powers it past Lloris. Brilliant ball in from Robertson, and Liverpool strike first as they look to return to the top of the table.
Well, we've waited 15 minutes almost for a Liverpool attack. Their first attack, and it ends up in the goal. We knew that Liverpool, their outball this afternoon will be with their fullbacks because Tottenham are playing wing-backs. So straight away Henderson, he gets a bit fortunate, skims off of Eriksson's head, but as soon as Robertson gets that on his left foot, that is an amazing pick out. Just between Vertonghen and Sanchez, Firmino arrives. All he's got to do is guide it into the goal, and that's what he's done. Great header. 1-0 Liverpool.
There's the moment of quality to separate the sides in the early stages on Merseyside. Roberto Firmino finding his range in front of goal. It was a well-timed run. It was a beautiful ball that picked him out from Robertson. Liverpool strike first, as you sense they needed to do in a game such as this, particularly given how Tottenham had started.
Yeah, a little bit harsh on Spurs. However, it's a terrific Liverpool goal. They know, and it had been coming because they kept trying to switch the ball, get their fullbacks out, get 1v1s with Danny Rose and Trippier. Trippier didn't close Robertson down quick enough. As soon as he gets his header, well, he gets a spotter's badge for that pick out. Terrific delivery.
Roberto Firmino scores against Tottenham for the second time this season. He got what ultimately proved to be the winner at Wembley as well back in September in the 2-1 Liverpool victory. Ahead here at Anfield, 17 minutes on the clock on Premier League Live. Your reaction on @TalkSport Live, our Twitter address. We'll get to the best of your tweets in a moment. There's Jorginho Wijnaldum for Liverpool, picking up possession just inside their own half and then floating it out to the left at Robertson. Assist number 9 in the Premier League season for the squad. Here he goes again with Milner outside of it. Back to Robertson again to clip in another cross towards Firmino. It was Davinson Sanchez that got to it first this time. And as far as Alexander-Arnold to flash in the rasping right-footed drive, which bounced once and whistled just wide.
Again, down this left-hand side, Robertson's delivery. Sanchez can't get enough purchase on it. Oh, it's a dipping volley, isn't it, from Alexander-Arnold. I think Pochettino has somehow got to get a message down to his staff, because Liverpool have now sussed it and they're going to their fullbacks. They're getting it out there quickly. Robertson, Alexander-Arnold, too much space in those areas for me. It's concerning for Spurs now.
Very much so, particularly given their recent run and their poor track record at Anfield. Hopes that are beginning to loom large in Tottenham minds, maybe. They try and come forward here with Eriksen. There's too much on it for either Dele Alli or Harry Kane. Comfortably gathered up by Alisson just inside of his own penalty area. He releases Robertson once again. Liverpool's fullbacks have been such a big part of their title challenge all season, and they're getting real joy so far today. Advancing again down the left. Robertson linking with Sadio Mane. Now Milner. Takes Dele Alli out of the equation with another crossfield ball. Alexander-Arnold, he's the fullback in space this time on the Liverpool right. Cross is cleared back towards him. Actually goes back into his own half this time, and Joel Matip. Tottenham not necessarily learned their lessons yet.
No, they haven't. That's what I'm saying. They need some cover to help Trippier, to help Rose. Down his side again.
Here goes Robertson again down the left. Gets to it ahead of Alderweireld, edge of the penalty area. Cuts it back from Mo Salah. Just inside the box. Brings it under control. Wijnaldum tees up Mane to try and bend one towards that far side. It's just the wrong side of the post as far as he and Liverpool are concerned, but they're beginning to dominate now.
Well, goals change games, don't they? And for all Tottenham's play, first 14 odd minutes, it's now Liverpool after that goal who are turning it on. And Tottenham, it's only one, but they've got to hang on in there. They've got to hang on in there. Robertson has got the freedom of the whole left side of the pitch, as has Alexander-Arnold on the other side, and Tottenham have somehow got to stem this flow, because the way things are going, they could find themselves another goal behind.
Here come Liverpool once more. It just skips away from Sadio Mane, who's the intended target for the ball in from the right. 20 minutes played. Liverpool leading Tottenham by a goal to nil. 60% possession for the home side so far. It was Alexander-Arnold providing the service, or attempting to, for Sadio Mane on that occasion. James Casey's tweeted it's going to be end-to-end stuff in predicting. Goes for a draw. Joining us from Port Harcourt in Nigeria. Saying if Liverpool don't come back top of the league, they should forget the title, because Manchester City will return to the summit on Wednesday anyway. They've got their game in hand against Cardiff City, and they're predicting a 3-1 Tottenham win. That prediction coming in just after the one for Liverpool, which is the only goal so far. Real concern, as we say, from Mauricio Pochettino. Has to sit and suffer in the stands as it stands.
Yeah, he does. They've got to somehow try and quell Liverpool. So getting in down the side too easy.
There's Mo Salah. It looked like he was in down the side of Davinson Sanchez, but the centre-back went sliding in. No margin for error in making a challenge, but he did nick the ball away.
Good run down the side of Vertonghen, just onside. Sanchez, he's really quick with his recovery runs. Good tackle in the end.
His left foot to it first, as they had to, otherwise that would have been a Liverpool penalty. Instead it's a corner kick for them as we approach the midway point of this first half. Alexander-Arnold is going to take it, right-footed from the right-hand side. It just missed the leap of Matip on the near post and is cleared away by Spurs for a throw level with the edge of their own box. Alexander-Arnold takes it quickly. Roberto Firmino had made the run and attempted to loop their header back towards the edge of the penalty area. Tottenham clear it again. Matip has to be watchful of the pressure from Harry Kane before hooking it out of play for the Spurs throw.
No nonsense defending there.
Tommy back to Davinson Sanchez, who reached the midway point of this first half. Well, it's certainly settled Liverpool down. Home record remarkable. Nearly 2 years, April of 2017, since they last lost here in the Premier League. 26 wins from the 36 games that have followed. Alderweireld gets his foot in to break up play. Dele Alli has it for Spurs around about the halfway line. Kieran Trippier goes back to Alderweireld. Trying to assess his options, but there aren't too many of those. Too many promising ones for Tottenham anyway. Sanchez then picks the pass for Danny Rose on that far side, who reaches halfway before playing it into the run of Dele Alli. Alisson comes and gathers. Eventually, it looked like for a moment he misjudged Alisson, challenged Dele Alli right on the edge of his penalty.
That could have been nasty, couldn't it? The ball could have dropped anywhere. Fortunate for Alisson and Liverpool, it dropped straight back in his arms.
Is it going to be one of those days? You need them if you are to win a league title. Certainly the season when Manchester City have also been so strong. There's Trent Alexander-Arnold, chests it down and brings it under control for Liverpool. Wijnaldum in space ahead of him, into Tottenham territory. Mo Salah takes over wide right, goes through a couple of gears, gets it back from Roberto Firmino, or at least that was the intention. Not a lot of time or space to play that particular pass. Salah almost in, just runs away from it.
Well, Liverpool are now in full cry, aren't they? Ever since the goal, they've been scintillating. As we see this mix up again, Milner and Alisson. Very, very fortunate that ball just dropped back into Alisson. Just headed it onto the back of James Milner's back, it's dropped down. As he turns around, he's bounced it up into his arms. Fortunate for Liverpool, the last 10 or 15 minutes have been excellent.
Really could have gone anywhere. So able to clutch hold of it at the second attempt. Danny Rose goes infield to Christian Eriksen. Harry Kane takes it off the toes of his teammate, finds Trippier. Too much on the cross, and Alisson is able to let that go, actually, knowing that it was going to drop beyond the byline for the goal kick. It's the sort of position where Tottenham would have wanted Trippier, and he's certainly got the quality to deliver from there, not quite on that occasion.
Yeah, he has. He's better than that. He'll be disappointed. Never quite got his foot round it, did he? Not enough shape on it. Looked like Alisson was going to catch it, just ducked underneath it, and it goes out for a Liverpool goal kick.
Quickly out towards that far side, the Liverpool right. Salah will get the throw up against Jan Vertonghen. Thought about taking it quickly. He's going to leave it for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Finding it tough to gain a foothold in the game since the concession of the opener. Remember, they've lost those 3 away from home. They'd won 9 in the previous 10 on their travels. Prior to that, it's been a dramatic reversal of fortunes away from Wembley. Mane here, cleared only as far as Wijnaldum. The first game at their new home against Crystal Palace on Wednesday. James Milner goes infield to Jordan Henderson. Pings it out to the right again. Liverpool enjoying themselves, playing with that swagger, a real confidence right now. Alexander-Arnold goes back infield, Wijnaldum to Henderson. Milner made himself available. Sissoko closed down that particular option. Alexander-Arnold instead. Tottenham chasing shadows at times. They just can't get hold of the ball. Alexander-Arnold seeing plenty of it for Liverpool on that right. Firmino didn't quite get enough to find Henderson and has to scamper back. He did just get back. Takes it away from Dele Alli. Henderson essentially stayed down, I think. There is a Liverpool man down. It's not Jordan Henderson. He's back on his feet and back on the ball, taking possession from Robertson. It's Milner that went down briefly. He's okay. We go all the way back to Alisson to maintain possession, but they're doing that really well right now.
They are. They're bossing the game. They're shifting Tottenham around. As soon as they get Tottenham all over one side of the pitch, they get the switch on, and that's where their fullbacks are out.
There's Mo Salah taking the pass from Roberto Firmino. Tongan trying to close down the angle. Milner shifts it short and square to Henderson. Now Sadio Mane just outside of the penalty area. Andy Robertson, corner of the box, running at the back, pending Trippier, takes him on around the outside. Thinks in the cross again. Got the better there of Trippier, who required assistance from Toby Alderweireld. He was the one in the way to head it behind for the corner.
Well, Robertson's almost playing like a left winger at the moment. That's how much Liverpool are dominating the game and dominating possession of the football. He can play as high up the pitch as he wants. And the same, to a certain extent, for Alexander-Arnold on the other side. They're just completely dominating the game at the moment.
Forcing the corner kick here. Vivanci on Twitter, at TalkSport Live, our Twitter address. A breathless game, going for a score draw 2-2. Kane to score. That's exactly how it finished at Anfield in a remarkable match actually last season between these two. Early stages here, 27 on the clock. Liverpool lead Tottenham by a goal to nil. A lot of pushing and shoving going on in the penalty area, to the extent that when the corner came in, the referee's whistle had gone because he was unhappy. A little bit of aggro continuing. It's so congested inside that 6-yard box. In fact, virtually everybody all lined up on the goal line here. I think Lloris doesn't have an awful lot of room. The Tottenham goalkeeper completely crowded out of it. There's going to be at least 10 players in there in total. Here comes the corner again towards that near post. Actually, the frame of the goal shaking after that. Never quite had the angle, and Lloris wasn't required.
It's obviously something they've worked on. Not sure what Liverpool and their coaching staff would be saying, but probably said, Lloris isn't the biggest, stick it under that crossbar, set pieces.
Can Tottenham up the other end. With a space for Lucas Moura to bring it under control and try and size up the cross right-footed. Dele Alli had made the run towards that far post, just over his head, but kept it on the far side. By Danny Rose, goes back to the Tongan. And now Sissoko, closed down by Milner. Musa Sissoko still has it. He has support from Rose. He takes a touch and then whips it in. Matic's missed it. Lucas Moura sliding in on the edge of the 6-yard box, couldn't connect either. And Mane actually has work to do to try and clear on the Liverpool left. Struck it against the Tottenham man. Will certainly settle for the corner, but there was a moment of menace in here when Danny Rose whipped that in. Lucas not quite advanced enough to be able to get on the end of it.
It's a great ball from Danny Rose. Good shape in behind the Liverpool defenders. In the end, brilliant covering from Robertson. Got himself between the ball. Moura, good defending.
There's Wijnaldum on halfway. Alexander-Arnold makes the run ahead of him, goes infield to Roberto Firmino. It's a brilliant first time ball. Mo Salah making the run to try and get on the end of it. Lloris hadn't read the danger. He was quickly off his line as well. His left foot to it first, to the Frenchman in the Tottenham goal to clear. There's that understanding between Firmino and Mo Salah again. One ball and the Egyptian was almost in. He will chase this one down as well. Calls for Tongan into action with the acrobatic clearance out of play on the far side for the Liverpool throw. Those wide areas, position of such threat. Alexander-Arnold waiting to take the throw here. We reach the half-hour mark at Anfield. Liverpool still lead by that Roberto Firmino header. Wijnaldum to the feet of Mo Salah, collects possession with his back to goal. Infield to Jordan Henderson, scoops it over the head of Lucas Moura for Robertson, brings it under control. Milner outside of him, crawling forward and gets it now. Trippier goes to try and close him down. Did make the block there, Kieran Trippier. He couldn't quite squeeze it past him. He has to settle for the throw, but it's all Liverpool.
It is all Liverpool. Tottenham still haven't sussed it, have they? Keep going down the left, keep coming out, go back down the right. Not getting tight enough in wide areas.
Recurring theme in the first half an hour here. Alderweireld thought about going back to Lloris. He had Milner snapping at his heels though, denying him that option. Instead Lucas does get the flick on. Alderweireld went longer, but Liverpool soon win the ball back. When Tottenham do have it, they can't keep it for long, it would appear. Alexander-Arnold infield to Wijnaldum. Through so much work in that Liverpool midfield. He's established himself as a first choice pick despite the summer arrivals of Fabinho and Naby Keita. The two have spells in this side, but it's really been at the expense of Wijnaldum.
He's a good footballer, isn't he? Makes the game look easy. Got a little bit of everything.
Scored more than anybody else in that Liverpool midfield. Robertson plays it forward again for Roberto Firmino, putting the pressure on Sanchez and coming away with the ball on the byline. Blocked by Alderweireld as he attempted to cut it back. Roberto Firmino's movement causing Tottenham all sorts of problems. They do clear towards halfway this time. Matic was covering. Sure, he got to it ahead of Lucas Moura. Milner will guide it back to Alisson. Since that Firmino goal, we've seen a series of nearly but not quite moments for Liverpool in the final third. Suggests there could be more to come. There's Mane, holds it up. That's Alderweireld at his back. Still with the ball and will settle for the throw of Kieran Trippier. It took two to stop him.
What a sign he's been for them as well. Mane had an outstanding season.
Better and better right now. It's in the form of his career. Sadio Mane.
What a ball that was as we were watching a couple of minutes ago. Robertson's ball into Firmino. Too strong for Sanchez. In the end, Vertonghen to the rescue. Liverpool are looking a real threat at the moment coming forward.
When you talk about impressive signings, Andy Robertson, given what they paid for it, has to be right up there as one of the very best in today's market. 8 million from Hull City, yeah.
Unbelievable. He has been terrific as well. A real find.
Very much the first choice in that left-back role. Henderson has given it away, cut out by Lucas Moura. Tottenham have it in the Liverpool half here with Dele Alli. Infield towards Christian Eriksen. Ali has it back, and it's sat up for him to strike it right-footed. Just dips a little too late and clears the crossbar. Almost out of nothing, a chance for Tottenham.
First real effort for him, isn't it? It's Henderson trying to get that switch out to his right back. It's intercepted. Little 1-2 falls to Ali. I tell you what, it's a terrific effort, isn't it? Dipping volley, not too far over.
Was coming down, but just not quite quickly enough as far as Dele Alli and Spurs were concerned. Only just cleared the bar though. Alisson didn't get too much purchase on his clearance. Back for Tottenham again. Harry Kane, brilliant block from Virgil van Dijk. Kane had been picked out by Eriksen, who's on the end of the Van Dijk clearance as well. So Soko put under pressure, has to go back to Alderweireld. Harry Kane has not really had a side of goal yet. Challenge there from Virgil van Dijk suggested why. Space here for Eriksen, but he's miscontrolled it. Bounced away off his right foot. Liverpool have it back, and they will run it back at Spurs with Mane. Roberto Firmino dinks it over the top wonderfully well into the path of Mane. He did get to it first, but Alderweireld comes careering across and shuts the door.
Liverpool almost want Spurs to come out at them, don't they? To come out their shape. And again, Firmino, what a half he's had, by the way. He's got his goal. His vision has been second to no one on the pitch. Lovely little return ball for Mane. And in the end, it's another last-ditch tackle. Spurs have got to see out this pressure. They can't go in two behind.
Liverpool's third corner results from this. Alexander-Arnold has come all the way across to their left-hand side to take it. 34 minutes on the clock, still leading by that 1-0. Up a delivery, and again tries to swing it in. This time towards the far post. It was a similar ploy. They had everybody on the goal line. Release once more wasn't required as it landed on the roof of his net.
It's definitely something they've worked on. Crowding Lloris at corners, set pieces. They obviously think he's not the best or the greatest at dealing with those.
It hasn't quite worked for them yet, but you could see how it might.
Yeah, certainly can. I'll tell you what though, Alexander-Arnold, that ball was nowhere near the quadrant.
When he took the
corner,
corner,
5 or 6 inches outside.
Might have been a cause for complaint had it come to anything. 10 minutes to go in this first half. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0 on Premier League Live. TalkSport Live is our Twitter address. Never get in touch with us as the game goes on. Love to know where you're listening to us around the world today. With Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool. For such significance, this one all around the world, such as the attention on the Premier League. And how much is at stake for both of these sides. The business part of this season after the last international break. That was given away by Van Dijk. Don't say that too often. Dele Alli picks up possession for Spurs. Finds Harry Kane to his right. He's overhit the cross. Only really had Lucas in the middle to aim for. In fact, it's bounced a couple of times and gone all the way out of play for a throw on that far side. Just a moment's misjudgment from Liverpool. It could be all it takes in a game such as this.
Yeah, but Tottenham have got to make the most of these chances. Kieran Trippier has done the self-same thing 6 or 7 minutes ago. As with Trippier, Harry Kane's got better quality than that. Yes, he only had Lucas to aim for. However, grossly overhit, wasn't it?
Nowhere near the intended target of Lucas Moura. Returned here by the head of Sissoko, by Matty. Salah battling for the bouncing ball against the Tongan. He does come away with it, but he was facing his own goal deep inside his own half, but has worked it well for Robertson. Move forward swiftly for Liverpool down their left-hand side. Christian Eriksen going with it. Robertson support just behind him from James Milner, who always offers himself as an option in those sort of situations. Well, the centre-backs combine. Dyke and Joel Matty. Now knocks it on to Alexander Arnold. Mo Salah getting in possession. Finding Roberto Firmino. Spins into a bit of space. This is Mane on the right foot edge of the penalty area. Bends it just wide. And you expect the net to fall from that situation, particularly given the form that Mane is in at the moment. It can't have missed by much.
It's a brilliant bit of football. Salah into Firmino. No one tight enough on Firmino. He turns round. Oh, I'm not sure that's the best option. Yes, it's close. And it's angling towards that far corner and doesn't miss by a lot. But Robertson outside him was in absolute acres. And all he had to do was shift it on one more. And I'm convinced that would have been 2-0.
Up until that moment, it was wonderfully worked by Liverpool. You can understand why Mane, given the form that he's in, wanted to take it on.
Yeah.
Only one thought on his mind. Just a whisker wide of that far post.
You can't blame him too much, because how many times have we seen him do that?
Yeah.
Whip it in the far corner. However, it looks good, it looks magnificent if it goes in. If it doesn't, Robertson will be pointing the finger saying, hey, I'm in there.
As it is, the lead remains at 1. It's 37 and a half minutes on the clock in Anfield on Premier League Live. Spurs with the ball back inside their own half. Davinson Sanchez to Toby Alderweireld here. Towards Lucas. The one attempt on target, the Firmino goal today.
Yeah, they are dominating football. Tottenham have got to get a bit tighter all over the pitch, especially with those three centre halves. They're not tight enough to Salah, Mane or Firmino. They're coming off and they're doing what they want with the football, and eventually one of those three will hurt you.
Robertson. Things suggest maybe that something could be on the way if it continues in this fashion. It is actually the third highest scoring fixture in Premier League history. 153 goals now, including Roberto Firmino's today. These sides get together. There's Dele Alli getting it from Spurs just inside his own half. Christian Eriksen taking over. Jan Vertonghen goes back to Davinson Sanchez. Eriksen creating a bit of space for Toby Alderweireld. Liverpool unconcerned by this Tottenham possession. They're just in front of their own penalty area. Liverpool finishing above Tottenham in the table only once in the previous 9 seasons. In 2013-14. Set to change this year, almost certainly now. There's Danny Rose, but Spurs with the recent run that they've been on, showing how quickly things can change in the table. It was only a couple of weeks ago they were, well, it seems only a couple of weeks ago anyway, before the international break, they were about 10 points clear of Arsenal.
Yeah, there was.
A point in it.
It's all changed, isn't it? It's all changed, and there's a long way to go. At the moment, they're staring down the barrel of another defeat.
Another beat here. Arsenal, who play Newcastle tomorrow night, would go above them on the table. Chelsea moving within a point off them earlier today with that come-from-behind victory in controversial circumstances against Cardiff City. Here's Christian Eriksen for Spurs, pinging it forward. Lucas does bring it under control to tee himself up for the shot on the edge of the penalty area on the D there. Struck it right fully, but he didn't catch it cleanly at all. He looked like he'd done the hard bit in bringing it under control, but it bobbles well wide in the end.
Yeah, Tottenham have been wasteful. The chances they have had when they've got in that final third have been really wasteful with the football.
Final 5 off the first half. Here comes Spurs again. Danny Rose making good ground. Dele Alli takes over, the ball breaks through, continues his run. Eriksen looking to return it to him. Van Dijk was in the way, heads it clear. Eriksen's won it back on the edge of the penalty area, the Tottenham right. Still has it. Mane getting back doing his defensive duties, narrowing the angle and the options for Spurs. Sissoko returns it to Sanchez, and they have had to go back to halfway to keep hold of it, giving Liverpool the chance to get themselves back in position defensively. Danny Rose, the man that really started that particular attack, is back to Vertonghen, and Liverpool have recovered their shape.
They have. Better passenger play from Spurs though.
Ball down the Spurs right by Trippier. It's charged down to settle for the throw instead. From launching on from the edge of his technical area, just a couple of paces behind Kieran Trippier as he takes this throw. There's Perez, by the way, is the man patrolling the Tottenham touchline with Mauricio Pochettino serving that bound today. Some trusted assistants in charge in the dugout. This is Danny Rose. Drifts infield away from Wijnaldum. Supporting the midfield from Dele Alli. Not too many options on inside his own half. Davinson Sanchez goes further back to Alderweireld. Roberto Firmino now is snapping at his heels. Turns it all the way back to Hugo Lloris. This time more than trying to play out from the back. The Frenchman does thump it long. Plenty of approaches on that in the direction of Lucas Moura. He's chased to win it, does get a foot to it. Ericsson thought it's behind Harry Kane though. Cut out by Robertson. Read the danger, finds Joel Matip. Advances a couple of paces and then he goes long as well. With a lot of Salah. It's an important intervention by Jan Vertonghen to get his head to that first. Otherwise Mo Salah might have been in behind in all sorts of space. Danny Rose has it for Spurs instead. Shoulder to shoulder with Wijnaldum on that far touchline. Then goes down on the touchline. They top the ball.
He's arguing Wijnaldum. I actually think that is a foul. Just leans into him a little bit too much. Yeah, it's a shoulder in the back, isn't it?
Rose picks himself up. Tottenham take it quickly. Sissoko to Sanchez. Vertonghen to his left. You figure now that he has returned to injury after a little layoff earlier in the campaign. Ping it out wide left towards Lucas Moura. Comes back to him off Dele Alli. Returns back to Alli again in a more central position now. Touches it to Toby Alderweireld. Tottenham trying to stretch Liverpool in the way their opponents have done so successfully to them at times in this first half. Are seeing a little more of the ball at the moment, but they're not really going anywhere with it.
No, they're not.
It might change here. Danny Rose down the line, wide left for Lucas Moura, running at Joel Matip. Up towards the edge of the penalty area, slips it inside. Dele Alli time to bring it under control. And then looking for Trippier. Just telegraphed it a touch too much, and Sadio Mane was able to get there first. Come away with it for Liverpool. Sissoko goes clapping into the challenge to try and win it back. Roberto Firmino bouncing ball is there to be won by him. He's actually going to win the free kick instead. Just inside his own half as the frantic pace continues towards the conclusion of this first half, of which now we are approaching the final 90 seconds.
It's been an excellent 43 minutes thus far, isn't it? Really has flown by. Good game of football. Liverpool in general dominating the game. Last 5 minutes, Tottenham have had 79% of it, but not really done a lot with it, have they?
So backs up what we're saying. Liverpool won't be too concerned by that. It will be a little frustrating maybe. They haven't gone on to score the second goal. So far so good in their attempts to return to the top of the table today. Standing a point behind Manchester City. Both have played the same number of games before Liverpool kicked off here. First of 4 weeks where Manchester City play first of the two. In the title race, their victory at Fulham was the first fixture of the Premier League weekend, and they have their game in hand at home to Cardiff on Wednesday night. And Tottenham also in action for the first time at their new stadium against Crystal Palace in the London derby. Robertson on the ball here. Goes back to Virgil van Dijk. I guess the scale of the Spurs challenge today summed up by the fact that Liverpool have only conceded 9 goals at home in the Premier League all season before today. Will need to change that. They have some defending to do in the last minute of the first half. It's Robertson infield from the left of James Milner, brings it under control, surrounded by white shirts, tries to pick the pass back towards Robertson. He too is outnumbered, about 4-1 by the time Tottenham cleared their lines from the edge of their penalty area, but they don't get too far with it. Roberto Firmino looking to thread it back through. Mo Salah had made the run, the ball didn't get that far. Spurs have it with Dele Alli into the feet of Harry Kane on the halfway line, wide on the Tottenham right, nicked away from him by Robertson.
They just don't give you a moment's peace, Liverpool, and that's what the big difference for me has been today. At the moment, Liverpool are closing down so much more quicker than Spurs, so much more energy than Tottenham in doing that. That's why Tottenham haven't really created a chance of any note, have they?
It looks like they will go in behind at the break because we're 30 seconds into just a solitary minute added on at the end of this first 45. Tottenham on the ball but inside their own half. That's been the story for the last 5 or 10 minutes or so. Towards Hugo Lloris here. There'll be time for one last Tottenham attack before the break. They need to get a move on if they are to mount it. No great hurry to do so here. Sanchez and Alderweireld combining on the edge of their own penalty area. looking for that out ball. There's nothing immediately obvious. So as much of how Liverpool are working without the ball right now. The tongue into the feet of Dele Alli. That added minute has been played, and right on cue comes the half-time whistle. So it is the goal from Roberto Firmino, a quarter of an hour in, that separates the sides. It was Liverpool's first attack of note, but it certainly helped settle them down as they went on to boss most of the rest of the first 45. Tottenham threatening very infrequently as they look to reverse their own poor form coming into this. Liverpool, as it stands, are on course to return to the top of the table today at half-time at Anfield. It's Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's running himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance, Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Cardiff City legend Danny Gavidan joins us on the preview show. He's got some new teeth. The former Millwall captain Matt Lawrence with us on the preview show. Former Liverpool striker Neil Mellor is on the preview show this week.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
We are at half-time at Anfield. Liverpool ahead against Tottenham after the first 45 minutes. This is the story so far. Field to the left for Robertson, takes it in his strike beautifully, and then whips a brilliant ball in for Roberto Firmino to head Liverpool into the lead. With their first significant attack of note, it is the Brazilian on the end of it. It's his 12th goal of the season. Powers it past Maurice. Brilliant ball in from Robertson. And Liverpool strike first as they look to return to the top of the table. Have it in the Liverpool half there with Dele Alli. Field towards Christian Eriksen. Ali has it back, and it's sat up for him to strike it right-footed. Dips a little too late and clears the crossbar. Almost out of nothing, a chance for Tottenham.
First real effort for him, isn't it? It's Henderson trying to get that switch out to his right back. It's intercepted. Little 1-2 falls to Ali. I'll tell you what, it's a terrific effort, isn't it? Dipping volley, not too far over.
Finding Roberto Firmino, spins into a bit of space. This is Mane on the right foot edge of the penalty area, bends it just wide. And you expect expect the net to balls from that situation, particularly given the form that Mane is in at the moment. It can't have missed by much.
It's a brilliant bit of football. Salah into Firmino. No one tight enough on Firmino. He turns round. Oh, I'm not sure that's the best option. Yes, it's close and it's angling towards that far corner and doesn't miss by a lot. Robertson outside him was in absolute acres, and all he had to do was shift it on one more, and I'm convinced that would have been
2-0. Well, they did have their chances to make it to Liverpool. Just the one goal in it at this stage. Both sides will probably, Kevin Watson, take positives from that. Liverpool, the fact that they are ahead, and it's so far so good for them. Tottenham, that it might have been worse, I guess, because they never really got going.
Yeah, as soon as that goal went in, Tottenham needed half-time. Half-time in terms of, I think they need to change their shape. It's not working. They're okay going forward. Not really worked Alisson, though, have they? Hardly at all in that first half. However, when Liverpool come forward, they're just completely outnumbered down the sides, and it needs addressing. And I wouldn't be too surprised if they did change it.
Not a single shot on target for Tottenham in that first half, which, given all the attacking talent they've got on the pitch, does tell a big part of the story. Liverpool only had one attempt on target themselves, the goal that separates them, which is a little surprising given the situations that they too put themselves in.
Yeah, Liverpool have been the better side. They've played some really good football. Yes, not really too many attempts on goal, but they look dangerous, don't they? Tottenham, when they've got in the final third, they've been very, very wasteful in good positions. We see the ball come out a couple of times to Trippier and Kane on this right-hand side under no real pressure, and the ball into the box just wasn't good enough. And they're making wrong decisions in the final third. Liverpool, however, have just been a little bit unlucky with their final ball.
No real signs of nerves from Liverpool in this title race. A lot was made of a mini dip in form. They dropped 11 points in the last 11 games, having only dropped 6 in the first 20 matches, incredibly, of the season. They look to be holding their nerve, don't they, in this title race?
Yeah, they do. It's the best chance they're going to have to win a title in a long, long time. Manchester City are going to be a tough nut to crack because you can't see them losing another game, can you? You can't see them drawing another game, in all honesty. So that's the only real problem. But Liverpool have to hang on in there. All you can do is control the controllables, and that for Liverpool is winning their own games.
I guess there has been a bit of a question mark over their form in these sort of fixtures against their big 6 rivals that don't have a great record recently. Only 4 wins in the last 17 such meetings. So it would send out a real statement today to Manchester City, wouldn't it, if Liverpool came through this test?
Yeah, it would. I think they're going to go in at half-time a little bit disappointed that they've not extended their lead, because while it's won, and as I won't say as poor as Tottenham have been, but Tottenham have not had a shot on target. We said that's not going to continue for the whole game. So I think Liverpool will need to score again to win the game.
Tottenham will still sense they have the chance, won't they, therefore, because of the scoreline?
Yeah, while it's won, anything can happen.
Yeah. Our second half promises to be fascinating. It is on the way very shortly. It's Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0 at half-time here. A result from earlier, though, the first game of the day in the Premier League saw Chelsea come from behind to put the pressure on Tottenham, actually, in the race for Champions League qualification. They won by 2-1 at Cardiff City. Not without controversy, that one, though. Neil Warnock left raging by a goal that blatantly looked offside with the replays, and then there was a potential sending off that wasn't given. Antonio Rudiger shown a yellow instead of red. No great surprise, maybe, to hear from Neil Warnock after the game that he is already looking forward to the introduction next season of VAR.
We didn't get any decisions today, did we? Similar to the Watford game at 1-0 just before half-time, a cert penalty, and for me, we go in at 1 each and it's a different game. We got beat 5-1, you know. It's we haven't had any major decisions this season, so it's thank goodness VAR's coming in, because VAR would have taken 5-10 seconds to disallow that goal, and I couldn't see Chelsea scoring, if I'm honest, without the help, without that decision.
Such a significant setback for Cardiff to lose that one as well, because it leaves them 5 points adrift of safety. They do still have a game in hand on Burnley just above them, but that is at Manchester City actually on Wednesday night. I mean, you can understand, Kev, can't you, Neil Warnock's frustrations there, his calls for VAR. It's coming in the Premier League, of course, next season, but after today, huge question marks whether Cardiff will be in the Premier League next season. What a difference a win against Chelsea would have made.
He'll be unbelievably disappointed, as will all his staff, his players, the Cardiff City fans. We saw the goal, didn't we? It's the first one. unbelievable that cannot be given offside. You're talking 2 or 3 yards. It's not even close. It's not happened quickly. Inexcusable for that not to be given offside. And then also the controversy of when the forwards through on goal and he's pulled down by Rudiger. Is that a red? Is it a yellow? It's a red for me. But obviously, again, it's open to opinion. It's all subjective. Yeah. Not so sure what VAR would have done about that. Depends who's sitting behind watching it on the telly at the time, I guess. Again, it's a subjective issue. But the first goal shouldn't even have happened, in my opinion.
No, so costly for Cardiff. 5 adrift of safety. Chelsea in 6, just a point behind Tottenham as it stands, who need something in the second half. At Anfield, they trail Liverpool here by a goal to nil. That second half is on the way next. You are listening to Premier League Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Joining us on the preview show, the former Arsenal striker and most stylish man in football, Jeremy Aliadier. I didn't want him here, but he's turned up anyway, is the former Chelsea man, Clive Walker.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance, Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
This is Premier League Live.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Liverpool against Tottenham from Anfield. I'm your host Phil Blacker. Alongside me is the former Tottenham and Reading midfielder Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live. Waiting for the arrival of the two sets of sides for the second half here. Liverpool leading Tottenham by a goal to nil. Big second half, Kev, on the way for both of these sides. So much at stake today.
It certainly is. Liverpool want to go back to the top of the summit, won't they? That's for sure. Got a little bit of pressure on Manchester City. I'm not so sure they feel any pressure, but you know, Liverpool have just got to keep winning their games, keep grinding it out, and hope that City slip up somewhere along the line. And for Spurs, I said early on in the week, I'm not so sure a draw would have been much good to them. They'll take it at this point, though.
It certainly sense so. Yeah, wait to see if they're going to change anything, Tottenham. Liverpool out first for the second half here as they attempt to return to the top of the table. A win today would take them to 79 points. total actually that they last won the league with all the way back in 1990. They've only lost once all season, remember, in the Premier League to Manchester City at the turn of the year. There is a scenario, of course, it's looking more and more likely as every week goes by that ultimately could be what cost them the title.
Yeah, big game. It could turn out to be very, very pivotal if they both win their games from here on in. The title's going to end up in Manchester, isn't it? So, big half for Liverpool. They need to hang on to the shirt towels, stick with City all the way till the end. And Spurs, well, they need something out of this game, because if they don't get anything and Arsenal win tomorrow, they find themselves in fourth position, is it? Arsenal go above them?
Yep.
Yeah, they'll find themselves in fourth position, and then it'll be really tight. Those three teams pushing for those two spots.
Only above Manchester United now on goal difference. Chelsea only a point further back as well. The second half at Anfield, off and underway. Liverpool leading Tottenham by a goal to nil, playing in the second half from left to right. The red, of course, Tottenham also their traditional colours, those white shirts, blue shorts, white socks. Appear to have made a change. Certainly personnel-wise, see if they tweak the system as Liverpool wants it long here. Davinson Sanchez missed the initial header. The Tottenham covering to try and get back under pressure from Mo Salah, who for a moment might have thought that he was going to be away and in on goal. Instead, Spurs do clear to the halfway line, where Andy Robertson returns, cut out by Dele Alli. Sissoko, risky one for Danny Rose. He lets it run through his legs, knowing that the Tottenham's beyond him. And to clear left-footed up towards Harry Kane again. Van Dijk gets his foot to it first. Kane ends up in a heap on the floor, and he's barely had a kick really, certainly not a side of goal in the game so far. The Tottenham talisman and top scorer. Danny Rose tries to find him here. A little fortunate how the ball did just roll into the path of Kane, albeit having to come towards the halfway line to collect possession. And Moussa Sissoko forward to Christian Eriksen, does well to wriggle away from Marnie. Eriksen on the right foot, going for goal, doesn't trouble the target with it. An early warning shot for Liverpool may be fired by Spurs at the start of the second half.
Worth a go. 22, 23 yards out. In fact, he'll be disappointed again. Spurs in the final third. He really should be working Alisson there from that, with the quality he has from that distance. That's got to be on target.
Get a side of goal, he created it for himself, didn't make the most of it. Like Christian Eriksen really in those sort of situations. He does specialise in goals from distance. He tend to score tap-ins. It's Sadio Mane for Liverpool, running it back just inside Tottenham territory to give it away again. The crossfield ball cut out by Danny Rose. A couple of minutes off this second half on the clock. Rose trying to foray forward, loses his footing. Doesn't really even look in the direction of the referee as he loses possession, and Liverpool clip it down the right, looking for the run of Wijnaldum, asking him to chase it out of field as a cross to put it out of play for the throw.
A couple of minutes of this second half. Both teams have been very wasteful. Possession of football. Scrappy start really. Can only get better from here on in.
Liverpool have the throw. Deep in Tottenham territory, they will leave it for Alexander-Arnold to take. I'll run you through the lineups in a moment. They are unchanged from the first half. Alexander-Arnold plays it short in the end into the feed of Roberto Firmino, who come to offer him the option. Firmino cuts it back down the line. Alexander-Arnold again in towards Milner on the corner of the penalty area, and now Jorginho Wijnaldum looking to stand up the cross from the byline, hits Davinson Sanchez with it and wins the corner.
It's delightful from James Milner. Arnold inside, look at that, just a little flick round the corner. Wijnaldum gets away from Dele Alli. Sanchez takes up a good position near post area. Another corner to Liverpool. Be interesting to see. Are they going to stick this one under the crossbar like they were trying to do in the first half, or something different?
It's been the policy so far, certainly. Looks like they will switch it up here, and Alexander-Arnold has taken it short. Milner to fizz in the cross. Van Dijk arriving far post, heads it off target. He very nearly did catch out Spurs with the set piece, so it was a chance for Virgil van Dijk.
It was, wasn't it? It's Eriksen that switches off this time. Great ball from Milner. He'll be disappointed, Van Dijk. He's not made Lloris work there. Free head of the back post. Should really be hitting the target.
Three from centre-back so far this season in a Premier League campaign in which the Dutchman has started every game. So, opportunity apiece in the second half, neither of which have hit the target. Now Lucas Moura for Spurs, still going, he's away from Henderson, he does have support from Trippier. Lucas still has it inside the box, looking for Kane with a cross, cut out by Van Dijk. Milner is there to win the bouncing ball and clear it away ahead of Dele Alli. Spurs forced all the way back through Sanchez to Lloris. They will try and build again with Toby Alderweireld. Let me run you through those lineups very quickly. Alisson in goal for Liverpool, Alexander-Arnold, Joel Matip, Virgil van Dijk and Andy Roberts in the back four. Midfield three of Milner, Henderson and Wijnaldum. Front three of Salah, Firmino the goal scorer and Sadio Mane. Tottenham with Lloris in goal, Alderweireld, Sanchez and Vertonghen in their back three. Trippier and Danny Rose wide. Sissoko, Ali and Eriksen in midfield three. It's Eriksen on the ball here. Lucas Moura and Harry Kane, the two completing the lineup, were the two ahead of him, unable to locate either. Eriksen instead is actually forced to concede the throw over on that far side. Robertson has it for Liverpool. 5 minutes of the second half play. No addition to the half-time score of Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. It's been fairly scrappy, as Kevin Watson said a moment ago, since the restart, despite the fact we have had an opening apiece already.
It's not really got going, is it? Start of the second half.
Purchase on the throw from Robertson towards Mane. He had that one snapshot wide from the edge of the box in the first half. Very much the form player in front of goal. He can move ahead of Mo Salah in the scoring stakes. In fact, only Sergio Aguero has more goals than him in the Premier League this season. Take penalties out of the equation, Mane's actually the top scorer in the Premier League this season. Kieran Trippier for Tottenham wide on the right-hand side. Salah, Mane and Kane all coming into today on 17 Premier League goals in the current campaign. Trippier again taking the pass from Dele Alli, looking to roll it in towards Christian Eriksen on the corner of the penalty area. Sissoko is in support as well. Mane back defending, unable to bring it under control. Eriksen has it now, Dele Alli. Fast feed from him, just about reaches Trippier. As Jorginho Wijnaldum goes to close down the Tottenham wing back. Alderweireld has to return it back to Lloris again. That's been a recurring theme, really. Tottenham have generally had to return to their goalkeeper to keep hold of the ball.
They have. It's this pressure again. Milner this time closing down Sanchez. Mane now get on Alderweireld. There's the next one coming in. It's brilliant. Brilliant closing down.
Tottenham struggling to get out of their own penalty area as a result of that, before eventually winning the throw on the far side for Kieran Trippier to take. Mauricio Pochettino's pose hasn't really changed throughout the game. He's seated in the stands watching on, fairly stony-faced with his arms folded across his chest. Serving this touchline ban, he won't be overly happy with what he's seen so far. Trying to spark a response from his side in the second half, but it's more the same at the moment. It's Alexander-Arnold forward for Liverpool towards the run of Mo Salah. Rose couldn't quite make it stick. He's helped out by Alderweireld, takes a tumble under pressure from Roberto Firmino, who just came in from behind and conceding the free kick. It's fairly ungainly stuff right now.
It is, isn't it? It's a bit industrial. It will get better, I'm sure. Liverpool won't mind it like this at the moment. They're the team that got their noses in front.
One goal is often enough for them in the Premier League this season, more clean sheets than anybody else, particularly here at home. They've been behind for just 28 minutes of the Premier League season at Anfield.
It's an unbelievable start, isn't it?
Actually, just what Tottenham have on their hands, how tough a task today they are to turn this around. Danny Rose has it for them though, rolls it low into the feet of Harry Kane, did want to make it stick on the edge of the box. Plays the pass for Lucas Moura on his right foot, now Dele Alli on the D, trying to dig it out from under his feet, didn't get the chance to get the shot away. His England colleague Jordan Henderson was there to stop him. Spurs still have it with Lucas Moura, now Danny Rose, shimmies away from Alexander-Arnold. Mo Salah back defending, Rose trying to locate Dele Alli again, it was just a fraction too far in front of him. Milner's able to break it up and play the pass for Roberto Firmino. He's been caught in possession though by Lucas, combining with Danny Rose. No real space for anybody in wide on the ball, but they still have possession in these tight spots. This is better from Spurs. Sissoko to Dele Alli, takes a couple of paces forward, looks for support, wants to turn back infield and goes back with a square again to Jan Vertonghen. Now Davinson Sanchez, Alderweireld is on the halfway line, he will loft it long, too long I think for Dele Alli. Alisson is able to come and make that his just in front of the penalty spot.
Better from Tottenham again though, final ball letting them down.
It's not been extended in those situations really at any stage today. Whereas Henderson, it's a good ball for Liverpool if Milner can't bring it down. Just a touch too high for him to try and take on the chest. Scampers after it, delivers the cross. Roberto Firmino meets it. Got the better of Trippier in the air there, but guided his header just over the bar.
Good ball, this time Henderson. Danny Rose, far too narrow, far too high at the pitch. Milner in acres on this right hand side, stands a lovely ball up to the back post. Firmino, in the end, Trippier does just about enough.
Eriksen, Spurs have it back, and he's located Jan Vertonghen in space. Can advance down their left hand side. We've played nearly 55 minutes at Anfield. Lucas Moura for Spurs, charging into the penalty area. Goes down under Joel Matip's challenge. Have a look at the referee. Martin Atkinson with a clear view of that. Quick to wave it away, and now Liverpool wants it long for Roberto Firmino up against Everton Sanchez. Alderweireld comes across to win the ball back. Firmino felt that he was fouled by Sanchez. Well, appeals at either end in a matter of moments.
And neither for me were anything. Moura, though, he's been a bright spark for Spurs today, hasn't he? Possibly their best player on the day. Goes down, nothing doing really, and then Firmino up the other end. One thing that he doesn't, or he isn't blessed with, his pace. Sanchez was just too quick for him.
Sissoko has it back for Spurs. He does have support further forward, tight to the touchline from Danny Rose, deflected cross. Ken's on the end of it, Ken on the left foot, carried away by Alisson. Chance for Eriksen, and Robertson did just enough to close him down. Wide it goes, possibly as close as Spurs have come.
Game sparked into life now, isn't it? Started his second half was scrappy. All of a sudden, about 2 or 3 minutes, Danny Rose gets a deflection into Harry Kane, shifts it onto his left. I'm not so sure why Alisson's parrying that into the middle of the goal. Good defending in the end, because Ali looked sure to equalise for Spurs.
Instead they have to settle for the corner. Alisson getting away with one there. He kept out the effort from Kane, but it was unconvincing. Here comes the corner from Trippier from the right hand side. Just missed the head of Matip, but Wijnaldum is behind it. Didn't quite locate Salah with the intended pass, so Sissoko's able to get a foot in. Dele Alli finds Jan Vertonghen. He's got a couple to try and aim for in the middle here. Cleared away by Virgil van Dijk, only as far as Dele Alli. Better spell this for Spurs. No way through for Ali, but he returns to keep possession through Alderweireld inside the centre circle. Linking now with Trippier. Pick the pass wide right for Lucas. He didn't really have the space. Robertson was there. Spurs have to settle for the throw, but they are trying to step up the intensity of their attacks at Tottenham.
Yes, good spell for Tottenham. This is last 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe. They're coming to the fore, forcing Liverpool backwards. Better use of the football.
All the way back to Lloris again, but a bit more belief maybe from those in white as they go in pursuit of parity. Some that have won just one of their last 24 league visits to Anfield. That was back in May of 2011. They've lost 15, drawn 8 of that sequence. Only winning 4 times here in league football since 1912. What a difference and improvement in that statistic would make to their season. It's looking unlikely maybe today, but slightly more likely than it was a few minutes ago, you could argue. First job is to try and get that equalising goal. They've won the ball well again here and have it on halfway. Lucas Moura picked his footing, had support from Dele Alli. Kieran Trippier now prodded into the path of Eriksen. Trippier's continued his run. Eriksen locates him. Henderson with him, and it's a poor cross from Trippier. It's harmlessly behind, and so far that sums up his story today.
His delivery's been poor all afternoon, Kieran Trippier. You'd argue that's possibly his strongest asset as we look back. In the end, it's brilliant defending, isn't it? It's Harry Kane has that shot, Alisson parries it out. It is in fact Eriksen who's coming in, and brilliant block from Robertson, because that was on its way in. Brilliant block.
He's been vital at both ends, hasn't he? Andy Robertson, he made the goal for Roberto Firmino, which is still the strike that separates them. And he saved a possible goal with that block from Eriksen. Trippier still feeling the back of his right thigh. Tottenham back on the ball with Lucas looking for Kane. Again, Van Dijk with his foot to it first. Said that before today. Dele Alli battles for it, but can't come away with it. And Liverpool can counter now. Mo Salah running at Alderweireld. Still Salah. Left-footed shot blocked by Alderweireld straight up in the air. Salah will challenge for it against Trippier. It's out for Firmino on the edge of the penalty area. Henderson to try and strike it. Right-footed charge down really as soon as it left his boot. Spurs clear their lines. I thought for a moment Danny Rose had been able to pick the fast and spot the counter-attack as well. It is really getting stretched now.
Good game of football, isn't it? Great game, in fact. Firmino, look at this for a pass to Salah. Brilliant. And I think he's got to roll Mane in. Oh, he's a bit greedy there, isn't he, Salah? He's just got to roll it to his left. And Mane would have been 1v1. That's a chance gone. Wrong decision there from Liverpool star man.
Indicative maybe that he's just lacking a little bit of confidence. Not quite as instinctive as at his best last year.
He wants a goal, doesn't he? Simple as that. He wants a goal.
That could change everything for him if he can get a goal. He could be right back in the groove in the running. And Liverpool will need him most. Christian Eriksen for Spurs. At the moment, Van Dijk is emerging as a key figure again, as he has been so often. He's, for the most part today, denied Harry Kane any sort of service. Kane just forcing Alisson into that one stop of note.
It's like a five-a-side game at the minute, isn't it? It's just end-to-end stuff. You have it, we have it. Mistakes. It's all adding up into making a great game of football.
Much more the sort of match we were hoping for and expecting at the start.
Yeah.
Certainly got going all right now. We've still got half an hour to play at Anfield on Premier League Live. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. There's Davinson Sanchez for Spurs, just in front of his own penalty area, getting the ball back from Dele Alli. Will be closed down by Roberto Firmino. Hugo Lloris taking over. Back towards Sanchez again. He's brought up the half-century of Premier League appearances. Towards the end of his second season with Spurs today. He's been a regular for most of that spell. Trippier finding Eriksen, but still Spurs pinned back deep inside their own half. On the edge of their own box here as the centre-backs combine again. Alderweireld to Sanchez to Vertonghen. Away from Mo Salah. And Rose back in field to Jan Vertonghen was just able to check his try to collect that. Sissoko now finding Eriksen. Trippier in support wide on the right. Back in field to Christian Eriksen again. James Milner for company, shadowing his every move at the moment. Inside the centre circle is Sanchez. Vertonghen wide on the left. Just in from the touchline is Danny Rose, trying to hold off Mo Salah and then taking on Alexander-Arnold. He takes a tumble on the touchline. Dele Alli looked like he was about to come away with it, but the free kick is actually being given in Liverpool's favour here against Danny Rose. Trying to get back and do his defensive duties. He is required in these sort of situations right now. Went down quite easily.
Yeah, I don't think it was a foul. In all honesty, I think Danny Rose has got an argument. He's got a case for asking why have you given him a foul. Wasn't a lot in it, was there?
Benefit of that given to Mo Salah. Despite his recent drought, he's just a one short of half a century of Premier League goals for Liverpool. He will break Fernando Torres' club record as the quickest to reach 50 should he score today. In fact, only Alan Shearer has managed 50 quicker for one club in Premier League history when he did so in 66 games for Blackburn Rovers. Record Salah would probably have expected to have already beaten by now. Set by Fernando Torres. Knocked on by Wijnaldum here on halfway. Returned by Vertonghen. Danny Rose. Something on that, looking for Lucas Moura. 62 on the clock. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. League Live at TalkSport Live is our Twitter address if you care to risk a prediction of how this is going to end up from here. So far to call just at the moment. Sissoko. Looking for Lucas Moura, taken off his toes. Alexander-Arnold has won it well. I haven't quite seen as much of the Liverpool fullbacks getting forward in this second half.
No, we haven't. They've not really got out of late down the sides like they were. Tottenham organised themselves a little bit better in these wide areas.
And they look to build from the back with Alderweireld. Kieran Trippier forward towards Harry Kane. It's come a little bit deeper to get on the end of it and then scoops a good ball out wide left for Danny Rose, brings it under control beautifully. Rose delivers the low cross aimed in towards the run of Lucas Moura. Virgil van Dijk again was the one that got to it first. Much more threatening from Spurs.
Yeah, much more, isn't it? Much more threatening. Great play, great hold-up play from Harry Kane, switching it. Wonderful touch from Danny Rose out on this left-hand side. Didn't hesitate. One touch and put it into the box. Good defending from Van Dijk to get across in front of Moura.
Tottenham trying to up the tempo. Still trailing by a goal to nil. The omens aren't good for them, given that Liverpool are unbeaten in their last 50 games in the Premier League when scoring first, and they've won all 17 before today. This season went ahead at half-time. Tottenham not giving this up, far from it. Looking more likely at the moment maybe than at any stage today to get the goal that they so desperately crave.
Much more of the ball, Spurs, than Liverpool at the moment. And they're also using it much better than they were in the first half.
And again on halfway with Lucas Moura, he's seen plenty of it. Eriksen inside the centre circle with the time to turn. It's Alderweireld that gets it back again. Eriksen assessing his options here. Roberto Firmino for company. Just worked it wide right to Trippier on the touchline. He's been patient in possession, Tottenham, but there is a bit more urgency, a bit of a greater attacking edge to their play right now. Dele Alli's come very deep here. Liverpool maintaining their defensive shape though, impressively enough. Put the pressure on high up the pitch. The space in behind them, maybe because of that. Eriksen has it here, wide on the Tottenham right. Looks up and delivers the cross, and Joel Matip just able to nudge it behind. Coolly done under pressure from Lucas Moura.
Well, they're asking the question now, aren't they, Tottenham? They're most certainly asking the question of this Liverpool team, who seem to have sunk a little bit into their shell in the second half.
Eriksen will take the corner. Only Liverpool have scored more set-piece goals than Spurs this season. They do with this one. Sanchez gets his head to it. They really took it off Alderweireld, and Liverpool stab it clear as far as Mane midway inside his own half. Under pressure from Kieran Trippier. A bit too much pressure actually, because the free kick has been given in Liverpool's favour. A chance to clear their lines and just try and clear their heads a little bit. Bit of breathing space required.
Yeah. Just need to settle down a little bit, get back to what they were doing, Liverpool. Just Tottenham doing all the pressing at the moment. Brilliant hold-up play from Mane there. Brilliant. Relieve the pressure.
Just seen a shot on our monitor of Mauricio Pochettino in the stands on the phone, and then Roberto's Perez picking up his mobile. The message being passed on. Be surprised if a Tottenham change is imminent.
We can't see because, as usual, he's covering his mouth. Not that we would have understood it, I'm sure they would have been speaking in their native tongue.
Still with some defending to do here. The cross is hoisted high in the direction of Wijnaldum, punched off his head, one-handed by Lloris. Decisive enough goalkeeping as it needed to be. Didn't have a lot of room in which to work there, the Tottenham captain, to clear. Away from danger. Liverpool still searching for a second goal, which could well settle it. Would be such a psychological blow for Spurs if they were to concede at this juncture, having really worked their way back into contention.
I think the second goal for Liverpool now will effectively end the game, kill the game off for Spurs. See Son warming up. I'm pretty sure we'll see him imminently.
He would be the obvious alternative, I guess. Fernando Llorente going through his paces on the touchline as well. So we reached the midway point of the second half. Premier League Live, Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Liverpool waiting to take a corner kick here, but Martin Atkinson not happy. And discussions with Wijnaldum and Trippier. Sissoko with a bit to say as well. All in a line again, this time on the edge of the penalty area, awaiting the delivery rather than on the goal line. It has been a change of policy in the second half in that respect, but it's still Alexander-Arnold to take the kick. It is a dangerous one. Comes all the way through here for Van Dijk, who tried to bring it down. Before he could do that, was nicked away from him by Sissoko. Final touch, I think, actually came off Van Dijk, so Spurs get away with that one. And again, you sense the danger when the ball comes into the box in those situations. Make a real presence in both penalty areas. Putting that mix-up with Alisson that almost cost them at Fulham in the last game a couple of weeks ago. There's Mo Salah picking up possession and having a hit. Plenty of power, left-footed effort, always rising though, and just clears the crossbar from the edge of the box.
Again, I mean, for the amount of space he's got, he's only 22, 23 yards out. He's got to hit the target. He's got to keep that low and hit the target. He's just leaning back, isn't he? Strikes it just as the ball's running away from him. And that is high and wide, knocks the hands of him, I'm afraid.
It's just not happening for Mo Salah in front of goal at the moment. Only one in his last 8 in the Premier League. Poor recent record against the Big Six sides, just 1 in 10. Spurs substitution here, and as we suspected, Son Heung-min is on for the closing quarter.
Well, it looks like Tottenham are going to a back four now. Took one of their centre halves off in Sanchez. Pretty sure Alderweireld, Tongan, Rose left back, Trippier right back.
Heading into the last 20 minutes. The time for Tottenham to change it, according to Maurizio Pochettino. They'll take the free kick very quickly here and find Trippier wide on the right-hand side, tees it up for Eriksen. It will run for Lucas Moura, and Tottenham are level. Thunders it into the corner from 6 yards out, the ball breaking at the feet of the Brazilian, and it's a big goal for Spurs. Equally big goal in the title race, because Liverpool have been pegged back at home. It's 1-1 at Anfield.
Well, that has put the cat amongst the pigeons, and you can't say it hasn't been coming. It's a terrific Tottenham goal. Harry Kane fouled on halfway, gets up, spots it, and smashes an unbelievable ball out to the right-hand side to Kieran Trippier. It's brilliant thinking from Harry Kane. Picks it up, spots it, smack. What a diagonal ball that is. Lovely little roll back from Trippier. Eriksen doesn't get hold of it, and it squirts across the goal. And there's Lucas, who, as we said, arguably Tottenham's best player of the day, gets his just rewards, and Spurs are level, and that has put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Could be a major moment, this one, in the title race. Tottenham have their reward for this second half pressure. Lucas has his 7th Premier League goal of the season. As you mentioned, it was brilliant in the build-up. There was a stroke of fortune, really, when Eriksen's ball, not necessarily intended, fell at the feet of Lucas Moura, but he was in the right place to profit.
Yeah, Eriksen scuffed it, no doubt about that. And I'm pretty sure there may be some fallout from Klopp, as we see Harry Kane almost spun the ball to come to a standstill to take the free kick. Was it still slightly moving? I'm sure Liverpool will be asking the question afterwards. It looks like to me it had just stopped. Very, very close one. However, it doesn't matter, because Tottenham are level.
May well be revisited by Jurgen Klopp. Here come Liverpool, Mane and Mo Salah. Not quite able to combine the ball back by Salah over the top of Mane, too strong behind for the goal kick. Liverpool a little rattled here. This is a huge 20 minutes now in their season.
It certainly is, and Liverpool are the ones who've got to be careful now, because if Tottenham can go on and win the game, there'll be cheers and drinks and glasses being raised all over the blue side of Manchester. If Tottenham can go on to win it, or even indeed keep it to this scoreline.
1-1 would do Manchester City, I'm sure, if it were to stay like this. There's Mane. Liverpool are responding though. They advance with Wijnaldum right hand side into the penalty area. Rose with him on the left foot. Mo Salah trying to get the header goalwards. Didn't have the angle for that, didn't have the space for that. But there has been a red response here, as there needs to be. It's a good ball that found Wijnaldum.
It was. Just gets crowded out. It's good defending from Spurs in the end, but what a final 18-20 minutes we've got now. Will anyone be brave enough to try and go and get that winner and risk being beaten? Because that's what it looks like at the moment.
Well, in their respective ambitions, a point apiece, not really too much use for either.
No, absolutely not. We said before the game, draw really isn't a result that helps either of these two teams. In a minute, I would say Tottenham favourites to go on and win this game, but you never know, do you? You never know. You take one bit of magic, one mistake.
And it goes again from Spurs here, but harmlessly through to Alisson. Spurs had started well enough today when Liverpool scored early on. Now Liverpool look to come again. Mo Salah helping it on. Wijnaldum advanced. Alderweireld across, kept in play on the touchline by Rose. Kept his composure as well as possession. And then Dele Alli forward, asking Lucas Moura to chase it. Joel Matip just goal side of it, will get there first. And keeps it in play as well, clears to the halfway line. Comes Spurs towards Son Heung-min. Referee indicating it bounced up and hit an arm in there. It will be a Liverpool free kick as we head towards this closing quarter of an hour. It promises to be enthralling.
It certainly does. We've said earlier, hadn't we, that Harry Kane has been almost anonymous all afternoon, but his quick thinking, getting up, taking that free kick. One of the highlights of this game for me. It was a wonderful crossfield ball which found a galloping in Trippier on the right-hand side. Yes, they got fortunate. Ericsson hardly got any purchase on it. The fact that he did that allowed the ball to squirt across the Moor. If he'd have got something proper on it, it wouldn't have got to him.
Sadio Mane's gone down here for Liverpool, having helped the ball on towards Wijnaldum. Danny Rose comes away with it for Tottenham, the only survivor of their last win at Anfield. Mane back on his feet, picks the pass for Alexander-Arnold to deliver the cross from the right, missed everybody in the middle, away by Trippier, only as far as Henderson, takes it down on the chest, and then it's harmlessly out of play. What followed from Jordan Henderson was bitterly disappointing for Liverpool. Wasteful really from a promising position. Again, they were threatening in the build-up, and there is activity as well here on the Liverpool bench. It looks like a double change is imminent.
Yeah, Fabinho, Origi coming on. You can assume that's possibly Henderson who's going to go off. And the other one, I would say, could be Salah.
Wouldn't be surprised given his display here. We head towards those final 15 minutes now. It's 1-1 on Premier League Live. The ball just bounced out of play off the Tottenham goal scorer Lucas Moura for the quickly taken Liverpool throw. Drama last season here in this fixture certainly came late. Tottenham had a penalty saved at 1-1 3 minutes from the end and ended up 2-2. Here's Mo Salah trying to bring down the bouncing ball in the penalty area, cleared away by Trippier. And as far as Milner, wasn't able to take it cleanly in his stride, but does get on the end of it now and finds Alexander-Arnold on the right, checks in field, away from Son, dipping left-footed, curling effort. Oh, it's just touched over the top and ends up on the roof of the net. Lloris with a fingertip stop, but such an important save to keep Tottenham on terms. Wonderfully measured effort by Alexander-Arnold.
Superb play all round, wasn't it? Great play from Alexander-Arnold. No, by no means a cross. He is angling that towards the far top corner, and it's fingertips from Lloris to keep Tottenham in the game.
The merest of touches from the goalkeeper, but such an important one at the expense of the corner. Liverpool left in by James Milner towards Sadio Mane. There's a change of taker for Liverpool there on the corner. It's cleared by Lucas Moura, doing his defensive duties, having scored the equalising goal earlier. 1-1 at Anfield. Here comes that Liverpool change. Divock Origi is the first to be introduced, and it's Jordan Henderson that will make way. An attacking change, as I guess it needs to be in the circumstances. The skipper is the player making way for Origi, who will slot in up front, and Milner is the other one. He's coming off. The two that returned to the starting 11 today, making way here. Be more like for like you would have thought as Fabinho replaces it.
We've almost got a front four now. You can only assume that it'll be Firmino who drops in a little bit now.
Jurgen Klopp with a bold move from the bench. There's 77 minutes played now at Anfield on Premier League Live. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 1. Roberto Firmino's early goal cancelled out in this second half by Lucas Moura. Mo Salah, Fabinho forward, Mane's made the run, Alderweireld is with him, goes careering across, but strong centre-back play. Mane off the ball and out of play, did his job.
Good defending, very good defending, shepherding it out.
Agitated atmosphere at Anfield, as I'm sure you can hear. Very edgy as Lloris plays it short to Jan Vertonghen and then clears from the edge of his 6-yard box. Doesn't get too much purchase on that clearance though. There's the Frenchman with the left foot. Alexander-Arnold goes square along the halfway line for his fellow fullback Robertson. Origi's first involvement is to pick up possession on the Liverpool left, twists away from Sissoko, tries to cross it, cannons away off Trippier. Gets the block and concedes the corner, and the Liverpool pressure continues.
Certainly does. Slight change of formation for Liverpool. Firmino just dropped in behind a front three now. Wijnaldum, Firmino sitting in the middle of the pitch.
So 7th corner, Alexander-Arnold back on duty to take it. Van Dijk's just missed the header, or got the merest of touches on it. It came through to Roberto Firmino in front of goal. Couldn't turn it in from a couple of yards out, and it ends up with Hugo Lloris, who is gratefully able to gather. Panic there at the back in their own penalty area for Spurs.
Well, Virgil van Dijk, He's thrown his head at it and just completely missed the ball. And that's why he's looked up to the sky. I can't believe he's got nothing on it at all. Unfortunately for Spurs, it just deflects into the arms of Lloris.
Liverpool win it back again with Mo Salah. Last dozen minutes at Anfield. Salah makes good ground. Lucas goes back with him and catches him, brings him down. Free kick just outside of the penalty area. There is going to be a yellow card here as well for Lucas Moura. I think on his birthday it's the first card that he's got out, Martin Atkinson, today, with just a shade over 10 minutes to play.
He's reffed the game very well, actually. It's been in control all afternoon. It's not been a niggly game anyway, has it? It's been a very good game of football. Mutual respect from both teams. I think he's got cramp there, Lucas. He's entitled to have cramp. He's covered every blade of grass this afternoon.
Still on the floor when he gets up. That yellow card will be shown in his direction. Salah in full flight. Just pulled back by the Brazilian. Confirmation of the caution. The rest of the game. There could be further punishment to follow from this free kick. It is in dangerous territory.
It is. The substitute showing some confidence here. Origi has spotted the ball.
It's a very central position. Just in front of the D. Salah in the vicinity as well. Alexander-Arnold, who we know is capable from this sort of range with the set pieces, standing just behind the ball, wanting to get involved as well, maybe. There are certainly options for Liverpool here as the Tottenham wall is assembled just inside their own penalty area. A couple of Liverpool players joining the end of that wall. I think he does like the favourite to strike it, and does strike it, hits the wall, and it deflects just wide. Well, it left Lloris wrong-footed. It could easily have crept into the corner. Wide it goes in the end, though.
It's come off Harry Kane. That's on target, that's in, because Lloris is rooted to the spot. He's moving the other way. That would have been really unfortunate to have found the back of the Tottenham net.
Wasn't struck with real conviction, but it could have been very dangerous. Here's the corner in towards Mane. Will settle for another corner here, trying to help it on. Lucas Moura tight to him, just behind him. There's a brief appeal that it might have hit his arm, but that would have been harsh. It's another corner for Liverpool. 9 minutes of the 90 to play. Alexander-Arnold, much deeper delivery, too deep this time. Beyond that far post, stretching forward, never really going to get to it. And Tottenham survived that little period of pressure.
Poor corner, wasn't it? He's never going to get that, Van Dijk.
Spurs making another change of their own, and they are taking off their goal scorer. Lucas Moura has run himself into the ground, really. We saw him suffering with cramp a few moments ago. He's just picked up the yellow card as well, and he is going to make way here in this second Spurs change. Ben Davies, his replacement from the bench, more defensive minded. No surprise at this juncture.
Yeah, absolutely. You can sense an air of desperation around the ground at the moment. They're appealing for absolutely everything. Players, fans, they're desperate for a winning goal. We've only got 9 or 10 minutes to go now.
The equalising goal from Lucas, seeing the lead change hands in the live league table as well. It puts Manchester City back on top as it stands on goal difference, level of points. And this stays as it is, but Manchester City's goal difference is an incredible plus 60. Liverpool plus 52 currently. How they need a couple of extra points here, because Manchester City still have that game in hand against Cardiff on Wednesday. Danny Rose back into that. Dele Alli forward. Flag is up against Son. Not really got in it yet since he came on.
He hasn't. I'll tell you what, Liverpool don't want to defend high with the likes of Son running into loads of grass. The only time he's run there and he was in.
Liverpool go long, just too long for Mane. Couldn't get on the end of it. It bounces once and goes behind. It really is desperation stuff. It is edgy, it's enthralling, and it could still go either way, this one.
It could. Liverpool have to be careful, don't they? They can't throw too much at it, or they risk conceding again.
How many chances will they take on the closing stages here? Hugo Lloris with a goal kick to thump it forward left-footed into the Liverpool half. Fabinho winning it in the air. Roberto Firmino challenging for it against Christian Eriksen in the centre circle. This is Robertson. Still just inside the Liverpool half of the field, and then we'll go back to Alisson. It's a poor ball though for Joel Matip. It was behind him, and as a result he put it straight out of play with a Spurs throw level with the edge of the Liverpool box. The nerves are jangling amongst the home side. Good ball by Mane though, asking Salah to chase it. Toby Alderweireld had enough of a head start. He was well positioned just to get there first and put it out of play as he had to do. Alexander-Arnold will take this throw. Level with the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Approaching the last 6 minutes now. Good ball in towards Mo Salah. Trippier to head it clear. Doesn't get a lot of purchase on that though. Robertson underneath it. Fabinho scoops it back in the air. Robertson helps it on into the feet of Roberto Firmino. No room to turn. Sissoko takes it away from him. Looks an elaborate 1-2 with Danny Rose. Would have done actually, but for Kane taking over. Now all sorts of space for Spurs on the counter. They're 2-on-1. Sissoko and Son. Sissoko has fired it over the bar. He's blazed it over the crossbar when Tottenham had the chance to win it. Length of the field counter-attack. Liverpool have pushed everybody forward. They were there for the taking.
That's what I'm saying. Liverpool over-committing. All of a sudden, Tottenham play their way out. And it's 2v1. And you've got to give Van Dijk some credit for his defending, because he's almost forced Sissoko to have to go on his own instead of rolling Son in. He's saying, you could have put that on your left foot. He cuts off the pass to Son, which is brilliant defending for me, because he knows Sissoko is right-footed. He shuts the angle. Look, he's making him go on his left. It's good defending. However, he's got to hit the target from where he is, and he's got to make the keeper work, and he's blazed it high into the stand.
Well, he was maybe playing the odds there, Van Dijk, wasn't he? As you say, he shot off the pass to Son, but in doing so, it opened it wide up for Moussa Sissoko, the man who started that attack right in front of his own penalty area. He should have finished it.
Well, he's at least got to make Alisson work and make a save. But Van Dijk, it's good defending. He's gambled, isn't he? He's gambled. He's thinking, I don't want you rolling it to Son, who is a goal scorer. I'll take my chance that you can't convert on your left foot, and he's got it right.
He reaps the rewards of the risk to Virgil van Dijk, and it stays at 1-1 into the last 5 minutes. Big chance that for Tottenham. You wonder if Liverpool will get one of their own. It may come back to cost Spurs even more than is currently the case. It's with Divock Origi over on that far touchline. Robertson scuffs the cross somewhat into the penalty area, cleared away by Toby Alderweireld. Van Dijk chasing after it. No time really for anybody to take a breather in the circumstances here. Robertson looking for options from the throw. Origi down the line was one such option. Instead, it's into the feet of Roberto Firmino. Back to Robertson, just overruns it though under pressure. Sissoko, who in fairness did brilliantly up until the finish a moment ago, and again he's calling for the ball here as Son charges forward. They're 3-on-3. Danny Rose in space to the left, and this time Rose is wasteful. It loops up nowhere near Harry Kane, who I think was the intended target, and ends up on the roof of the net.
Again, Tottenham playing their way out of a tight area. Son driving forward, commits. Liverpool go narrow, gets it out to Danny Rose. He's better quality. He has much better quality. I'm not sure what he's thinking there. But Liverpool, at the minute, they'll take a draw.
Here's how much it has turned around in the second half. Last time Tottenham won here, May 2011. 2-0 victory. Rafael van der Vaart and Luka Modric got the goals. Danny Rose is the only Spurs player today that also featured that day. Here come Tottenham again. Dele Alli brings it under control. Checks back onto the right front edge of the penalty area. Tries to bend it towards the far top corner, and it's missed again by a matter of millimetres really. It was so close for Dele Alli and Spurs.
We're shooting practice at the minute. Liverpool are all over the place defensively. This time Dele Alli, it's a good decision. Just tried to clip it, and that is 6 inches past the far post. It's one-way traffic at the moment.
Just over 2 minutes of the 90 to play. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 1. Liverpool set to lose ground on Manchester City in the title race, but they could lose even the point that they currently have here, given the way that this is finishing. They're the team taking the risk, but it's Tottenham looking by far the likelier right now to score the game's decisive third goal.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know what they're doing, Liverpool. They are going all out attack, aren't they? And they're leaving themselves very bare defensively at the moment.
Stoichkos everywhere for Spurs, gets his foot in the middle, but it breaks for Divock Origi. He's run out of room on that far side though as he tried to muscle away past Kieran Trippier. He'll be left to take the throw for Tottenham right on the halfway line here. Spurs looking for only a second point in their last 5 matches. There'll be positives they can take from this. It does end like this, even though it won't necessarily do them too much good in the chase for Champions League qualification. Alexander-Arnold with a crossfield ball. Origi has the room to bring it down, just in from the Liverpool left, running at the back, peddling Trippier towards the byline. Trippier stood his ground, got the block in, but Liverpool have the corner as we head now for the last minute of the 90.
There'll be another chance in this. Let's see what the fourth official puts up, what Martin Atkinson has told him to put up. You just sense there'll be another chance.
Alexander-Arnold will take this corner. Unfortunately, everybody packing the penalty area, awaiting the delivery. It is a good one. It's out by Harry Kane there, rising highest on the edge of the 6-yard box. Robertson behind the clearance though. Alexander-Arnold again to return it. Mo Salah in space, heads it goalwards. Oh, Lloris has missed it. It's gone in. Off Alderweireld, I think, for the own goal. Liverpool back in front with 30 seconds of the 90 minutes to play. Scenes of jubilation, of celebration, of relief more than anything at Anfield. Somehow they have found a way. Huge fortune involved in the goal, but a nightmare moment for Lloris and the Tottenham defence. Between them, they bundled it really into their own net. Astonishing stuff.
When you edge into the last couple of minutes of any football match, there is always one more chance. We said it from the corner, there'll be one more chance in this game. It gets returned out to the corner taker. It's good defending from Harry Kane, but it's a lovely little ball back out from, I think it's Robertson. It's turned back in. Salah's in acres at the back. Oh, it's Lloris. He's got to catch it. It's a tame header. It's a tame header from Salah. Just catch it, but no, he palms it onto Alderweireld and it rolls over the line, and Liverpool are still in the title race.
Well, it is one of the scruffiest goals you will see, but it is one of the most significant maybe of the season so far. It restores the Liverpool lead going into added time now at Anfield. Well, if you are to win a title, you need a little bit of luck along the way, and Liverpool might just have had it here.
Well, they certainly have. I mean, it's been one-way traffic for the last 10 minutes. Ever since Tottenham scored, there was only one team going to win this, and that's how cruel football can be to you. Tottenham are dominated. Sissoko, that chance will come back to haunt him. Dele Alli, inches from the far post. Son going through as well, picking out the wrong passes. It's harsh on Tottenham, but you get the feeling that could the name of the Premier League trophy be on Liverpool now?
4 minutes of added time were indicated by Stuart Atwell, the fourth official. We've had a minute of that. Here come Tottenham in search of a response. Llorente is on for Eriksen. Final throw of the dice from Spurs. Now it is they pushing everybody forward. In it goes towards the edge of the box, and Dele Alli cushions the header down. Ben Davies is underneath it, picks the pass right left for Danny Rose to deliver the cross, deflects off Mane, takes the sting out of it. Alisson will gather it up and will hold on to it for as long as possible. Just to remind you of what happened at Anfield last season, Mo Salah put Liverpool 2-1 in front after surviving a scare. Harry Kane missed penalty moments earlier. That was in the first minute of added time. Harry Kane equalised in I think the 5th minute of added time. It finished 2-2.
We've got just under 2 minutes left now, haven't we? I'd be very surprised if Tottenham could go again with the ball deep in there, by their corner flag in the right hand side. Now Liverpool are going to make a sub. Not sure why teams do that, because the ref will just add on another 30 seconds anyway, possibly more. What a finish to the game we've had. Tottenham will be ruining their chances and their poor decisions in the final third, because they've been the better team for me today, most certainly in the second half.
It looks like they're going to end up empty-handed. Mo Salah, who played his part in the goal, is the man making way in this substitution, taking as long as possible to get to the touchline here. He certainly celebrated the goal as if he'd scored it, and ended his recent drought. The final touch was off Toby Alderweireld. Liverpool don't care who scored it. Big bear hug for Salah from Jurgen Klopp as he reaches the touchline. Defender Dejan Lovren is on just to try and help Liverpool over the line here. A minute of the 4 added on to play. plus a little bit longer now because of that substitution, but Liverpool have Spurs where they want them, behind and with the ball deep inside their own half, down by their own corner flag as Trippier takes the throw. It's returned in the air by Virgil van Dijk. Alderweireld meets it. A horrible moment for him. That inadvertent final touch may well have sunk Spurs here and sentenced them to a fourth straight away defeat. The drama will go on because of a nasty looking clash of heads over on that far side. Fabinho, I think, coming off the worst for Liverpool, but there will be injury time now.
I think that goal has fouled Jurgen Klopp out of a little bit of stick, if I'm honest, because at 1-1 they were so much going for the win. They just left themselves 2v1, 3v2, and if Spurs had been more clinical when they broke well, the Sissoko one is now coming back to, you know, I keep thinking about that. He has got to at least hit the target. But, you know, he was reckless with his tactics when it got to 1-1. And that goal, I think, has saved his job, but he would have most certainly come in for a lot of stick, I think.
Might possibly have maintained their title challenge, which was in danger of faltering further. It's Fernando Llorente that is cut. He is currently being patched up on the field. The clock ticks now to 95 minutes, but there'll be probably another minute or so still to play, won't they, after this?
Yeah, they certainly will.
Fabinho back on his feet as well. He was the Liverpool player, as mentioned, involved in that clash of heads. It ends in a handshake between the two of them on the touchline as they wait for permission to return. Defining moments of the season unfolding really in front of us at Anfield today. Tottenham go long now towards Harry Kane. It's at this stage here last season when he did score that equalising goal in the 2-2. Challenged by Jorginho Wijnaldum. Will be a Tottenham ball. It is everybody back here for Liverpool. The free kick midway inside, pretty much the Liverpool half.
Good day.
You wouldn't write anything off the way this has gone. Kieran Trippier will go across to take it, and Liverpool fans collectively hold their breath and bite their nails. Kieran Trippier swings it in right-footed, headed out by the colossus that is Virgil van Dijk at the back. Dele Alli will try and return it though. Alexander-Arnold will get his foot to it first ahead of Vertonghen, and thumps it out of play. Anywhere will do for Liverpool right now. 6 added minutes already played. Tottenham trying to get the ball back from the Liverpool fans to take the throw. Still midway inside the Reds' half. Danny Rose with it. But that is the full-time whistle, and Liverpool are back on top of the Premier League table tonight in the most extraordinary of circumstances. A last-minute winner, an own goal from Toby Alderweireld, and Liverpool's title challenge is very much alive. How many chances they took. What a wonderful chance Sissoko had to win it for Spurs. Instead they lose further ground in the race for the Champions League. This is a significant setback, certainly for Spurs, in the context of their season, particularly given the circumstances in which that winning goal came when Tottenham were on top. They had got themselves level through Lucas Moura after the early goal from Roberto Firmino, but it's Liverpool who had the final say. Jurgen Klopp, all smiles, and his big gamble pays off somehow as he celebrates with his players on the field at the finish with a full-time score at Anfield of Liverpool 2, Tottenham 1. Field to the left for Robertson, takes it in his strike beautifully, and then puts a brilliant ball in for Roberto Firmino to head Liverpool into the lead with their first significant attack of note. It is the Brazilian on the end of it. It's his 12th goal of the season. Powers it past Maurice. Brilliant ball in from Robertson, and Liverpool strike first as they look to return to the top of the table. Finding Roberto Firmino, spins into a bit of space. This is Mane on the right foot edge of the penalty area, bends it just wide, and you expect the net to fall from that situation. Danny Rose deflected cross, Kent on the end of it, Kent on the left foot, carried away by Alisson, chance for Eriksson, and Robertson did just enough to close it down. Wide it goes, possibly as close as Spurs and can't take the free kick very quickly here and find Trippier one on the right hand side, tees it up for Eriksson, it will run for Lucas Moura, and Tottenham at level. Thunders it into the corner from 6 yards out, the ball breaking at the feet of the Brazilian, and it's a big goal for Spurs, equally big goal in the title race because Liverpool have been pegged back at home. It's 1-1 at Anfield. Robertson behind the clearance though. Alexander-Arnold again to return it. Mo Salah in space, heads it goalwards. Oh, Lloris has missed it. It's gone in.
Alderweireld with a think for the own goal. Liverpool back in front with 30 seconds of the 90 minutes to play. Scenes of jubilation, of celebration, of relief more than anything at Anfield. Somehow they have found a way. Huge fortune involved in the goal, but a nightmare moment for Lloris and the Tottenham defence. Between them, they bundled it really into their own net. Astonishing stuff.
What a conclusion to the contest. Breathless stuff. Kevin Watson, have you gathered your thoughts after that for a final assessment?
Well, Liverpool fortunate for me. It's a huge mistake from Lloris palming it onto Alderweireld. But you look back and Tottenham were wasteful in the final third. Liverpool gave them a chance, pushing on for a win. They desperately needed a win, Liverpool, pushing on. Spurs broke on numerous occasions, and the one that sticks in my mind is Sissoko. Van Dijk gambled, you're not going to pass it to Son, who's going to score. I'm going to take a chance that you're not going to, and he got it right. Big chance for Tottenham, but Liverpool lucky for me today.
Yeah, and it does take them back above Manchester City, 2 points clear at the top. City's game in hand against Cardiff on Wednesday when Spurs open their new stadium against Crystal Palace. They could be behind Arsenal by then. Of course, the Gunners in action against Newcastle on Monday. That is coming up live tomorrow with Tom Rennie and Dave Kitson right here. Arsenal with every incentive to move back above Tottenham, who've been beaten at Anfield by 2-1. You are listening to Premier League Live.
There's more to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much. Kick off the new season with TalkSport's £1 million Predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million Predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance, Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
He's put down the dumbbells and has turned up here for the show. Chris Uelemo is on the preview show. A Premier League winner, Paul Parker, joins us on the Premier League Preview Show.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
This is Premier League Live.